Forum 13.
Good morning, I'm Phil Bailey. Thanks for joining us on Forum 13. Single parents don't have to do it alone. We're going to introduce you to a group that helps single parents help each other. Then we're going to talk about the author of a good book, Getting Us Back to Nature. But first, there may be more single parents than ever right now, and the group Parents Without Partners is there for you. We're joined by J.C. Kelleher with Parents Without Partners. Thanks very much for joining us.
It's my pleasure, sir.
Are there really, do you think, more parents, single parents out there than ever?
Phil, there really are. We've got 500 members just on our Meetup site alone, our website. Paid members for Parents Without Partners, we've got about 150 in this area, and we're actually the largest in this Northeast region up over here, single parents organization. So when people go up to our website, they can see and find out a lot more about us. But basically, back in the 1950s, these two single parents got together, and they decided to create this organization for other single parents who really had no one to turn to. They didn't know who to talk to, what to do. They didn't know where to go and do things with their children. So basically, it started out with parents of younger kids, but a lot of the people that got involved with it really stayed on with it for a lot of years, and we still have some folks between the ages of 20 and even 80 years old that have single parents, single children, rather, they are single parents with children up into their 50s and such. But we have this social organization, and it's really single parents helping single parents. We have discussions, discussion groups that go on a regular basis. We have family events, and we also have a lot of events for the adult parents themselves, so that the single parents can get together and talk and have some fun amongst themselves too.
So what are some of the issues that Parents Without Partners can help with? I took a look at your website. Conflicted divorce is one of the items you mentioned.
Right. One of the things that we do have, as mentioned, we have the educational series. So once a month, we usually have a guest speaker come in, and we have that separate from our general meeting or open house that we normally have. And in those sessions, we'll talk about how to co-parent, how to talk with, how to go through divorce, how to do mediation, if that helps. So anything that's going to make and educate the single parent or somebody who's about to become a single parent to make that transition easier for them and know that they're not alone.
Something else some of your members face is widowhood.
Yes, we do have some widows and widowers in our organization, and it's incredible to see that we have one gentleman that rejoined the person that he was with. He originally met in our organization, and they were together for 30 years. Wow. And he just came back to us and rejoined once again, and he's very active in our group and is out at all of our meetings, a lot of our events, and it's great to see that. The camaraderie that we build up are really friendships that last for years and years.
But you're also welcoming to parents who have never been married?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It doesn't matter if you've been married, if you are a part of a couple. As long as you're a single parent, that's really what this organization is all about. It's how to cope with and deal with and talk with other people who are single parents and have single parent issues. Whether it's trying to find who a good babysitter is, or if your children are older, how they can transition, and if you start to get into a new relationship with someone and your children are older, sometimes the children have a little bit difficult time handling that. And it's how to, we talk with and bring in speakers on how to deal with that type of an issue and help your family transition into it as well.
Sounds particularly helpful. I don't know if most of your members are people who are new to the situation of being a parent, a single parent, because it can be overwhelming. I mean,
yes.
If it's divorce or if it's widowhood, at some point you just go, whoa. And I mean, that in itself has been a handful. And when you finally emerge from it, then you say, oh my gosh, I've got these kids to take care of, and I only have half the help.
Exactly.
now and half the ideas.
Well, and that's where one of the good things that we do is we have a lot of family-oriented events where parents of younger children can bring the kids. And we work all together. In fact, next month we're working on an event on a Friday evening where the parents can bring the kids in. The parents go together too, and we have music, so the kids can dance or go around and have fun. We have something going on off on the side for the kids, and the parents kind of collaborate and help and let the kids play together and do some stuff off on their own. Now, it's certainly not restricted to the parents of younger children either. The parents of older children can certainly come in and join us too.
Your members generally are age, gender, socioeconomic status?
We really run the gamut, Phil. It goes from, from what I recall, our youngest member is probably in late 20s with infant children. And our oldest member is up in the 80s with children in their 60s. That are married. So we really have, and it's interesting to see when we get out to some of these events that we have, the difference in the age range and the dynamic between the two. And you see people learning from one another and discussing things with one another. And it's really incredible to see the friendships that develop over it too, that last years and years.
Where is your chapter? Because this is international, correct?
It is an international organization. You're absolutely right. Our chapter is located we're based out of Clifton Park, and we meet the first Saturday of every month, and that's at the Clifton Commons Community Center, Adult Community Center. It's right next to where the stage area is there, where they have
and all the soccer fields.
All the soccer fields in there.
Right. And if they want to find any specifics on the meetings, that they can go to your website.
They can go to our website. We have a site on meetup.com. It's www.meetup.com/PWP796.
Thank God we're providing a link so that nobody has to remember all of that. We're going to provide a link at WNYT.com. Just go to news links and you will find a much simpler way of getting to that website.
It is much simpler.
You had mentioned this started in PWP, started in 1957. It was in Greenwich Village, right?
That's correct, yes. Yeah.
The issues of single parenting since 1957, some remain the same, but some have really changed.
Oh, they've modified by leaps and bounds. It's just incredible. The differences in society alone today from the 1950s, I certainly don't have to tell you. We see it on the news every day. It's amazing, and what we do is we ask our membership what topics they want to learn more about, what do they want to find out more about, and we like to cater to that. We had recently, as a matter of fact, I was talking with some of my members recently, and they wanted to have a discussion on computer issues. How to keep the kids safe when the kids aren't around, even for the family issues, how to protect themselves from viruses, identity theft, and that's something that can trickle down to the rest of the family too.
We had something on the other day on our news, here at News Channel 13, trying to stay in control of the music selection because now with just a personal,
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, iTunes or whatever. And yet, if your child's young, you want to be selective about what lyrics
they don't understand the
to.
explicit lyrics. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, right. So that kind of thing?
Oh, absolutely. Different things that you can do about previewing some of the music that the kids are listening to. There's no reason that you can't be a parent to your child. You don't have to be a friend to your child.
Right.
Your children have friends. They all have friends. What they need is a parent. And to be the best parent that you can to them, they might not always like it, but they're going to thank you later on. One incident in particular is, and I'm going to use my son, and I apologize to my son right now. My one son, who's 16 years old, he came to live with me in Pennsylvania when I was living down that way. And he was going through a rough time in school. He came down to live with me, and I told him up front, you live here with me, and we have certain rules in the house. And he thanked me later on because he became a Marine. He was just, he's an incredible young man. Both of my children are incredible young men, both back in school at Hudson Valley Community College. When he became a Marine, I remember the day that he left, and I make it a little misty here when I tell you the story, but he told me, "Thank you for believing in me when no one else would." And I gave him that structure, and that's what the thing that the younger kids need nowadays, is they need a parent. They need somebody to be strong and tell them no, and it's okay they need to know their boundaries, and it's going to help them become better adults, and just like my parents did for me.
And your son, your Marine, he's back home safe?
He is back home, he's safe, and he's back in school for criminology. He's going to be going to HVCC, and my younger son is 19 years old, and he's going for the nanotechnology program.
You know, in the 1950s, when this began, 1957, I mean, wasn't there a bit of a stigma to being a single parent?
Oh, absolutely.
They had things to fight with, too.
Absolutely, they did. They're the types of things that we take for granted now as parents. They were something that was far beyond what was even thought about. Now, when back in the 1950s and the 1960s, there was a stigma to a person who was divorced. Now, we're seeing it much more commonplace with a 50-51% divorce rate. It's incredible. And we also did, I know back a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month or two ago, you guys did a segment on teen parents, which I happen to work for the organization, Community Maternity Services. I'm the IT manager there. And all of these people over here, we were seeing a lot of teen moms too, up into their early 20s, people who are unwed parents, like we were talking about before. And these are people that we can also give assistance to, and a little bit of help and a little bit of knowledge. We have this wealth of knowledge over here with all of these people who have gone through it before. If this person hasn't gone through it, then that one has over there. We've got people that have gone through multiple divorces, a single divorce, never been married and have children, are single and adopted. So we've got all these different dynamics.
And yet there are still mysteries.
Exactly.
Your group members, they grapple with autism, for example?
Yes.
Or rather, relatively new.
Right. We do have a couple of single parents of autistic children, and that's a whole different dynamic in itself. A lot of the single parents that have never dealt with that are learning how to deal with that kind of thing too. So it really teaches a lot of tolerance and patience and understanding.
Okay, so how do people join PWP, Parents Without Partners?
We actually have an application back on our website at meetup.com, and that's PWP 796. If they look for single parents of the Capital District, they'll go directly to our website. They can find that in any search engine, and they can look me up and ask me questions, or contact our Vice President of Membership or President, when we'd be happy to help and answer any questions that we can.
Right, and again, we're going to provide a link on our website at WNYT.com, and check out news links, and you will find Parents Without Partners. J.C. Kelleher with Parents Without Partners, thank you very much for joining us.
It's my pleasure, sir.
All right, thank you for joining us on Forum 13. We will be right back.
This week, shop 200 pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs for under $200 a month, and save with 1.9% financing. Rows of pre-owned trucks under $200 a month. Yes, acres of pre-owned cars under $200. Pre-owned SUVs under $200 a month. And with pre-owned cars and trucks starting as low as $39.95, there's no better time to shop Paula.